I know a lot of people can agree when I make this statement. Have you ever like met a person, met a human being, that had the identical spirit as another human being in a totally different body? You know, I'm so convinced that we are spiritual beings on this planet. I'm so convinced. So that leads me to say this. Discernment allows us to recognize these spirits. You can only pretend, all of us. That's why I guess they said take skill to be real. I heard that before. You can't fake your spirit. You can't fake. That's something you can't fake. So if your discernment is up, if your third eye is open, nobody can trick you. Not me, not her, not them. Nobody can trick you when it comes to discernment and recognizing a person for who they really are. You can't be tricked. So let's not make this stuff hard. It's not that hard. You cannot be tricked. You cannot be tricked. It's not possible. But what we can do, from my experience, is that we can ignore the signs. We can ignore the spirit of a person, because we have our good days, we have our nice days, we have our, we're able to hide those moments we don't want people to see. But like I said, you can't. We're talking about women at this point, but you can't trick anybody whose third eye is open when it comes to discernment and knowing exactly what you're about to walk into. It's not possible. So with that being said, I've walked up on people, I've approached women, I have approached men in certain situations, and it's been like, you know what? There's a spirit. Either if you want to indulge or involve yourself with this particular individual, or you don't. You can kind of feel it. You kind of know it right away. You kind of know the good people. You kind of know people who you can recognize the people who are working on themselves. You can recognize the people whose third eye is open. If you're really paying attention, the signs are there, as well as the positive as well as the negative. This has been my experience on this journey, and 100% of the time I've been right. What I felt and what I heard in the beginning, I heard the experience. It was like I was getting the outcome to the experience before it even happened. They call that revelation. I was like, I got the revelation on what was about to happen, and it happened. But sometimes we got to see shit for ourselves. You know what I mean? But, praise be to God for good people. You know what I mean? Good-hearted people, because it makes a difference. It balances out. One last thing. This is a part 3, but one last thing on this journey, man. Be careful. Women and men, be careful. And the one thing that I learned, I had to be truthful. I wasn't always truthful because, it's not that you're not a truthful person. It's that shame. You don't want to be shameful. So you don't, it's not that you're lying. It's that you're not just telling the whole truth. You know what I'm saying? And that's an issue where that's also an insecurity, where us men and women, we were talking about this. I was talking about this also with my partner. We was talking about breaking away from that insecurity, breaking away from our personal insecurities. Or you probably not working at the time, or you probably have something that you're ashamed of, so you don't quite give that information out. You know what I'm saying? It's called shame. It's not really an insecurity. It's just society has, to a certain extent, when we go through situations, has made us ashamed of ourselves to a certain extent. Or, a guy that used to do drugs, a woman that used to do drugs, a woman that is a prostitute, a woman that's a dancer, a man that's selling drugs. You know what I mean? You don't let people know exactly what you're doing in this life, because society is dishing out cards that a lot of people refuse to play. Some people get tired of playing, they commit suicide. Some people jump off bridges. You know, some people get tired of playing the game, they don't want to play no more. But when you have the Spirit of God, man, you can discern, you can get through. It's, you know, that spirit, that discernment is to get us through some things, to allow us to keep going. That's what it's for. It's to allow us to press through things that we wouldn't normally be able to press through. So use your discernment, turn it up, is my advice, just giving advice, you know what I mean? Because you can only give advice when you love. So much love to everybody. God bless. Use your discernment. Don't walk into situations that you definitely don't have to. And I'm also talking to myself. Don't walk into situations that you just don't have to walk into. You'll save yourself a lot of time and a lot of heartache, a lot of tears. On the real. God bless.